I get that I'm wearing my 2015 me glasses today as a throwback to my last or second to last video. I assure you this is 2022 me. 46. I just turned 46. Yesterday, I turned 46. 46! Almost half a century on the planet. Almost. So I'm wearing my 2015 me glasses from a previous video because they are actual glasses that I use, particularly on days where I'm doing a lot of reading and writing. I wear these glasses because you can't see, but they have a little bit of the reader. They're a shitty prescription. But you know, glasses are expensive, yo. I don't know what to tell you. I gotta read some stuff. I don't want to hurt my eyeballs too much. So I'm wearing the 2015 me glasses. They're not from 2015. They're from probably 2019. Yeah, that's been worse. Had older glasses. Have older glasses in the other room. The reason I'm making this video is that a surgery that I had scheduled got bumped back about a week and a half, and I flipped out at first because, you know, I went back into 45-year-old me mode, who was like, I can't deal with one more fucking change! Because I really feel like sometimes I can't deal with one more fucking change. Do you know what I'm saying? Whew. It's tough out here in America, folks. I'm not supposed to say folks anymore. I think I read an article recently that said I can't, I mean, not that I specifically can't say it, but that we, as a people, are not supposed to, that folks is cringe. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine, for those of you who are fellow Gen Xers, imagine like 1986, somebody coming up to you like, you know, in the parking lot of a concert, and you're smoking your Camel Lights or your cloves, wearing your docs. Somebody comes up to you and they go, saying folks is cringe. I had no idea what the fuck we were talking about, just like we didn't know what the fuck we were really talking about when we, the first children of the earlier boomers, were running around like feral animals, smoking cloves outside of a Jane's Addiction concert at 2 a.m. on a Monday, on a school night, like around Christmas time. That was Gen X in a nutshell. It was a metaphor for our generation. You know, if you're my age, if you were born between, what's the span, 69 to 69 to 80. I'll fucking find out later. If you were born in those years, you know what I mean. Gave that metaphor about smoking cigarettes at 2 a.m. at Christmas time on a school night in the city. Oh, it was wonderful to be there. We were glad our parents were lucky. When I referenced a concert parking lot in 1986, I spoke fallaciously, misleadingly, a little erroneously, in several ways. One, I was born in 1976. I was not prowling the streets of any city, not even my beloved city of Chicago, when I was 10. Not at night, not at a concert. I was home. Two, Jane's Addiction was formed in 1985, so I could have conceivably seen them in 1986, as I said earlier in the video, but it probably would have had to have been in Los Angeles, formed in 1985. Great band. Great fucking band. One of the seminal bands of my youth, Jane's Addiction. My God, I hear that music and I'm 16 again. It's awesome. Anyway, so I overlooked a form, or the form overlooked me. It doesn't matter. The surgery is pushed back a few days. It's not the end of the world. The form I forgot to sign was consent for sterilization. So I'm on public services right now for my health care. And I'm very thankful that Medicaid exists right now. I'm really, really thankful. You know, I talk a lot of shit about America, and I talk a lot of shit about all sorts of things that I really love. shit about literature. I talk a lot of shit about music. The only things I talk shit about are the things I really love. Isn't that weird? Is it true for you too? A lot of shit about America. But goddamn it, I'm glad Medicaid exists. I wish it was available to everyone. I wish you didn't have to get, like me, a bunch of cancer. You didn't have to get a bunch of cancer and mental health issues in order to access Medicaid. So I'm glad for it. So thanks. Thanks, America. Thanks for the Medicaid from a bicentennial baby. Are you impressed? I forgot to sign, or someone forgot to tell me to sign, doesn't matter, the consent for sterilization. And as I was looking at the form, preparing to sign it, which, I did without hesitation, if somebody goddamn given me a consent for sterilization at like 10 in 1986, I probably would have said yes then, because that's how long I've known that while I love children, I care about children. I have many children in my life who, I would, do anything for. I never wanted any of my own. My friend Erin and I always laugh about that old folksy expression. Never had any children of my own. You should follow Mildred Wellenever on Facebook and go back through the archives because Mildred's very funny. Anyway, and I know how these days things are changing so quickly all the time in America. After the Uvalde shooting, I stopped watching the news entirely. I used to be a news junkie, but I couldn't take it anymore. I stopped watching the news altogether after those children were murdered by guns and those teachers were murdered by guns. I do check Twitter, and so I see some of the major headlines there usually, and like this afternoon I watched a little bit of the hearings, but I'm not immersed in the hearings because I'm still hung up on the Roe v. Wade shit. I'm still scared about that a little bit, or a lot. I spend so much time these days trying to keep myself healthy and moving forward. And I put a lot of parameters on what I will allow myself to absorb at this hour in my life. 46. But, I need to stay generally informed because that's who I am. So I see this morning that the SCOTUS is fucking expanding gun laws. They said they're signing legislation to expand gun laws. If that's not a fucking spit in the face to all of us, and I do mean the majority of Americans who are so fucking sick of seeing our children, our elders, our beloved ones, fucking mowed down in schools, churches, and grocery stores, for the SCOTUS to do that. Well, they show us who the government, the Republican Party in America is showing us. They've been showing us since the 60s, they've been showing us who they are. I don't know why nobody believes them. I'm scared of the Supreme Court that we have right now in America. You should be too, I think. Unless you're like a straight, white, Republican voting male, you should be pretty scared. As I was signing that consent for sterilization, I was thinking about how Roe v. Wade is still about to be overturned and all of the implications of that decision that will happen. It will come. It's coming. Fascism is here. We are there. So if anyone's thinking like, oh, what if fascism ever came to America? Well, it's here, and it is who you think it is. For Christ's sake. So I signed the consent for sterilization, and I thought, thank God I can have this surgery. Because I am still, if you really take into account, possibility and, modern fertility technology, I'm still childbearing, yo. I mean, maybe there's some good baby making eggs in there. So I am, consenting to sterilization. It's not like I'm 70 years old and, having my ovaries out for, some other medical reason or whatever. The procedure very well may save my life, prolong my life. Because that's what we do once you have metastatic breast cancer, is you work to prolong life. So the ovary thing. Handmaid's Tale case scenario. I could someday legislate. Women cannot have their ovaries removed if they're in their childbearing years. And we don't think about this. So we don't think about, like, I'm a lesbian. Unless something terrible happens to me, I'm not going to be pregnant. And unless something terrible happens to me in the next, few weeks, I'm not going to be pregnant. Even still, when you have discourse around women's bodies for so long in a country, the way we've had this discourse around women's bodies for so long in a country, vis-a-vis Roe v. Wade controversies, you could, the ovaries are commodities. My ovaries are commodities, and I am on federal resources right now. So, because of that, I have to sign a document, and it's fine. I'll sign it. I'm consenting. Nobody is forced sterilizing me, trust. And I'm not sad about it. Not at all. I'm clapping. I'm clapping my ovaries goodbye. Bye. Bye. Yes, bye. You can't see them leave soon enough. Okay. See you later. Bye. Bye. That's how I am about my ovaries. But they're a commodity. They're worth something. Bodies are always worth something to a government, to an empire, to an imperialist. It brought me back to the Roe v. Wade thing and how, it's easy to let other things in America, and in America that's changing so rapidly and in many ways that are just fucking terrifying, get eclipsed. And I don't want that one to get eclipsed. The lives of girls and women are literally on the line, and you can't opt out of it, even if you're, like me, a gay rod. So do your research if you're voting out there in any of your local elections or state elections, or I'm not a legislative expert, but I'm a voter. So research, vote accordingly, and smoke them if you got them. Be good hooligans.
You'd like to know me well.